kindness rarely announces itself. And yet, a small act of care, offered quietly, can bloom again years later, in a place you never expected. Does goodness ever truly return to us? Or does it simply disappear, unanswered? Japan has an old story that answers this question, quietly. Hanasaka Jiisan, the man who made cherry blossoms bloom. Long ago, in a small village, there lived an elderly couple with gentle hearts. They were not wealthy, but they lived each day quietly, and with care. They had a dog named Shiro. He wasn't just a pet, he was family. One morning, the old man set out for the fields with Shiro, as his wife saw them off, just like any other day. It seemed like the start of an ordinary morning. But at the field, Shiro suddenly stopped, and began sniffing at one spot in the ground, again and again. He seemed to be trying to tell the old man something. The old man began to dig where Shiro had shown him. With every strike of the hoe, the hole grew deeper. Still, he never doubted his old friend. Then, from beneath the soil, came a glint of gold. The ground was filled with gold coins. The old man was astonished. But what moved him more was this: Shiro had led him here. Back home, he told his wife everything. And what they were most grateful for wasn't the gold itself, it was the gift Shiro had given them. That evening, Shiro sat between them, just as he always did. From the shadows, their neighbor was watching. And in his heart, something other than gratitude began to grow: envy. He wanted that same fortune for himself. And slowly, that wish hardened into greed. The next morning, the neighbor came to the old couple and asked to borrow Shiro for a while. Trusting him, they agreed. But as he was led away, Shiro kept looking back. The neighbor led Shiro out to a field at dusk, his steps quick and impatient, as if hurrying toward treasure. Again and again, Shiro turned back toward the home he knew. Before long, Shiro began scratching at a patch of earth. Delighted, the neighbor swung his hoe down hard. By then, gold was the only thing on his mind. But what came out of the ground wasn't treasure. Just broken pottery, old tiles, rusted scraps, worthless things. His excitement turned instantly to anger. In his anger, the neighbor turned on Shiro. Shiro could only look up at him in fear. That night, Shiro never made it home. When the old couple heard, grief overtook them. They buried Shiro gently near their home, laid flowers at his small grave, and planted a young tree beside it. Even in their sorrow, they never stopped being grateful for him. Time passed, and the young tree grew tall beside the grave. Every time they looked at it, they remembered Shiro. He was gone, but somehow, he was still part of their days. One day, the old man decided to use the tree with care, carving its trunk into a rice-pounding mortar. He wanted Shiro's memory to live on in a new form. When they used the finished mortar to make rice cakes, something strange happened. Gold coins began spilling out from inside it. Astonished, the couple received it as one more gift from Shiro. The neighbor borrowed the mortar next. But this time, what poured out wasn't gold, only mud, ash, and broken debris. Furious, he smashed the mortar and burned it to ashes. Quietly, the old couple gathered up what remained. One day, the old man scattered that ash over a bare, withered tree. And blossoms began opening along its bare branches, one after another, as if spring had arrived in the heart of winter. A passing lord, moved by the sight, praised him as Hanasaka Jiisan, the old man who made cherry blossoms bloom. This story isn't really a promise that good people are always rewarded with treasure. Sometimes our small kindnesses go unanswered for a long time. But the memory of having cared for someone doesn't disappear, it stays with the one who gave it, and with the one who received it. And sometimes, much later, it blooms again, somewhere we never expected. A similar lesson appears in another well-known tale, Aesop's fable, the goose that laid the golden eggs. A man who owned a goose laying one golden egg each day grew impatient, wanting all the gold at once. His greed cost him the very gift he already had. Both stories leave us with the same question: can we be grateful for what we already have, or will the wish for more end up costing us what matters most? Kindness doesn't always come back to us in a form we can see. But the care we give another person is never truly lost. It lives on in someone's memory, and one day, it may become someone else's spring. Whose heart might you help bloom today? Thank you for listening. Japan has many more stories to share. See you in the next story.